There's a strange moment that happens right after we lose someone. Suddenly, everyone around you turns into a motivational poster. You hear things like, stay strong, everything happens for a reason, she's in a better place now. These phrases are everywhere. We've all heard them, and we've probably all even said them. They sound gentle and loving. But when I lost my mom suddenly in January, I heard these phrases a lot. And honestly, they didn't help that much. In fact, they made me feel more alone. Now you might be thinking, okay, Anya, but everyone grieves differently. What if this line does help someone? And you're absolutely right. There's no universal script for grief, no magic phrase. But here's the thing. We all tend to jump to what's most easy to say and not what's most helpful because we're uncomfortable. Especially in cultures like here in the US where we're trained to avoid grief, to tidy it up and move on. But in many other cultures, grief is allowed to be messy, loud, and sacred. In my own culture, Indian Hindu traditions dictate that when the soul of a loved one cannot be free, it's because the body hasn't been cremated yet. But my mom was an organ donor, and so we had to wait a week to cremate her. Her body was kept alive and breathing until every possible life could be saved. Again, we had to wait a week, and honestly, it felt like an emotional limbo. I was told she was gone, but her chest was still moving as if she was breathing. It felt very emotional and very hard to get through. Our rituals clashed with our reality, and grief sat with us in that tension. So yes, grief looks different everywhere, but across all cultures, there's one common thread. We want to feel seen. And the phrases that we jump to so quickly, stay strong, at least she's no longer suffering, can make people feel more alone because it makes people feel like they have to hide their pain to make you feel more comfortable. And it's not that people are being careless. Most people genuinely want to help. People say things like stay strong and everything happens for a reason because they think it's of substance and they think that it is helping you. But again, what I've realized after going through my own grief is that the goal for someone in grief isn't to help them feel better. The goal is to help them feel seen. When someone told me to stay strong, all I could think was why? Who is that strength for? I wasn't strong. I felt wrecked. And I didn't need someone to sit with me and make me feel better or help me get rid of that grief. I needed someone to sit with me in that silence and say, this is awful, but I'm here for you. And that silence and that discomfort is exactly where the real support lives. But again, here's the problem. We were never trained in how to sit with someone's pain and sit in silence. We've been trained in filling W-2s, in parallel parking, in closing out browser tabs. But we were never taught with how to sit with someone in grief and how to sit in silence. Because oftentimes, when people are in grief, what they need most is just a place to sit and someone to sit with them, because that silence and that discomfort is exactly where the real support lives. After my mom passed, my best friend started sending me small smiles, little moments from her day that had gone well. They could be little or big. Big, like getting elected to a board position finally, or random, like scoring that Trader Joe's dip she had been craving for so long. But each one did exactly what it promised. It gave me a small smile. Then in March, she was in a car accident and her close friend passed on scene. So I started sending her small smiles because I remembered how much it mattered. Not the content, but just the consistency. The fact that she had chosen to show up for me every single day and I wanted to do the same because I remembered how much it mattered. You don't have to have poetic language or say something super profound because sometimes presence is the most profound thing. Another small shift that makes a big difference is asking before you respond. One of the most powerful things you can say to someone in grief is, do you want advice right now, or do you just want someone to listen? Most people don't ask. We see someone in pain and we just jump right into fix-it mode. But sometimes that's the last thing people need. Asking doesn't make you awkward, it makes you attuned. Because sometimes what people need most is a place to fall apart. Not a pep talk, not a plan, just someone who's with them and saying it's okay to not be okay right now. Grief isn't a flaw. It's not a puzzle to solve or a weakness to overcome. It's the sign of having loved deeply and having been loved deeply. And the pain of losing that looks different for everyone. Some people want silence, others want to talk. Some people throw themselves into work and others can't get out of bed. None of these are wrong because there's no single right way to mourn. After my cousin Arnav passed last year, after a long battle with cancer, we found a journal entry he'd written. Accept, adapt, overcome. 3 words that became a kind of mantra, not because they were about overcoming the pain or pushing through the pain, but because they were about honoring the journey of being with it. Accept the reality, adapt to the shift, and overcome. Not by erasing the pain, but by learning how to carry it. And oftentimes support is just that, helping someone carry it. And other times, the smallest gestures and the most meaningful ones are the quietest. A few weeks after my mom's funeral, one of her coworkers reached out to my dad and I and sent us a message. He told us that they had just run their first big meeting without her, a meeting that she always organized and led, and the room felt her absence deeply. But what he wanted us to note most was that people continued to call the team meeting Samya's team meeting. My mom's name was Samya. Even months after, people still continued to call it Samya's team. No one questioned it, no one corrected it, it just was. And that's what it means to keep someone alive through language, to witness the ways that they still have an impact even months after they're gone and even in their absence. So I want to offer you 3 concrete things that help me and that you might carry with you when the next time someone you love is grieving. Number 1 is to say less and be there more. Again, you don't have to say anything profound. You don't have to have poetic language. You don't have to be Ralph Waldo Emerson. You can just be you, because presence is the most profound thing. And saying, I'm sorry for your loss, this really sucks, is more powerful than anything you could find in a sympathy card. Number 2 is to be specific. Instead of saying, let me know if you need anything, try, I'm grabbing groceries, can I drop something off? Or, I'm free Thursday night if you want company. Or, I'll text you again tomorrow. Make it easy for the person to say yes, but also to say no and still feel loved. And lastly, keep showing up. Grief doesn't have an expiration date. The hardest days often come weeks or months later, when the texts stop, the flowers fade, and the world moves on. Don't be the person who vanishes. Be the person who continues to check in, who continues to send messages on birthdays and anniversaries, who just sends a message for no reason other than, I'm thinking of you. So there's no one right way to grieve. Grief looks different for everyone, and helping someone in grief also looks different. It's not easy to figure out one right way to do it, but being there for the person without trying to fix them is a great way to start. Because what someone will remember isn't the perfect phrasing that you had. It's the fact that you chose to continue showing up and to still be there, to sit with them in the dark without flinching. So no, you don't need training, you don't need poetic language, you don't need 10 years of grief counseling. You just need a little courage, a little honesty, and maybe a Trader Joe's snack. So the next time someone you love is grieving, try this. Don't say stay strong, say this is awful, but I'm here for you. And then be there for them, because that's what they'll remember most. Thank you.